Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner, and this is my review for the season 4 premiere of How to Get Away with Murder. That is always how I have said the name of this show when I wasn't even doing reviews of it. When I would just, post little stuff like on Instagram, I will always say, how to get away with murder. That's just in my head how it should sound. Anywho, so tonight's season premiere, season 4, episode 1, it was really good. It's the same premise, or it's the same flow where they show you something and it can go, earlier, later scenes is going back and forth. So, it's still that. It's not as jumpy as it has been. My nails is like breaking right now and I'm going crazy. It's not as jumpy as it used to be. Like, it wasn't like a whole, this is the past, this is the future, this is a whole different past. It was more of, going over like 1 week's worth of situations. So we see the episode starts off and Laurel is at the school and she's meeting with her dad. And we all know her dad is the one that had Wes killed. Yes, he behind it. We still don't know why he had Wes killed. It can't be because he was dating Laurel. Because why would you just tell your daughter not to date him? You ain't got to kill a person, just to, not have your daughter date him. So we don't know that part yet. But, she's like, I'm so mad at you. And, that's why I have not been returning your phone calls. And he's like, what did I do? Why are you mad at me? And she was like, because basically you had Dominic follow me. Now, Dominic is the person who we saw at the end of last season who was the one who killed Wes. And he's also the guy who popped up on Laurel and them. And she recognized him as someone working with her father. And that's how she know Wes, that her dad killed Wes, because she like, why he here? What you here for, Dominic? Why my daddy got you here on business? So he's like, well, yeah, I had Dominic follow you because I knew if you talk to him, he would have you contact me. And look, lo and behold, it worked. And he's like, well, what other reason would I have him there? And she was looking like, whatever reason you had him there, Papa. And, she says they then sit down and he's like, you've been avoiding me. I don't know why you haven't been returning my phone calls. And she admits, well, I haven't been returning your phone calls because I'm pregnant. And then he's like, oh, okay. This is a huge thing. You telling me this, is it Frank's baby? And she was like, well, it was a huge thing. I had an abortion. And he was just like, oh, okay. And she's like, but don't tell Mom because I don't want her getting all Catholic on me. It's already been hard enough. But, I just wanted you to know. But overall, I'm fine. And he's like, okay, that's fine. But he do keep asking her about why he can't come to her apartment. And she's like, my apartment's a mess. Don't worry about it. No, we can't go back there. It's cool. Let's go get something to eat. And then he like, let's take a picture first. But you can see on her face, she don't trust that man. She know that man up to no good. And she just looks like just totally disgusted that she even has to be around him. But she takes the picture and she smiles for the camera. Cheese. And, they walk off and everything. So, but as she's talking to her dad, we see Annalise sends her a text about coming to dinner at 8 o'clock or whatever. So, from there it goes, okay, it's a week prior. So, now we're going back in the past. We see that she's on a plane and she's going home to see her family in, was it Memphis? Yeah, Memphis. And we also see when she's on the plane going back to Memphis, it's a man flirting with her, trying to get her cootie cat. You know what I'm saying? He's flirting, trying to get his Mac on, and hey, how you doing? What's your name? Blah, 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 blah. And she ain't even really paying attention. He like, what's your name? And she like, Bonnie. No, damn well her name ain't Bonnie. But who was the man flirting with her? Who was the little chocolate man sitting across the thing talking to her? None other than her real life husband. I thought that was cool. Because I kept looking at him and I'm looking like, that man looked like her husband in real life. So I had to Google it, Viola Davis' husband. I'm looking like, that is her husband. Okay, he got a small role on the show. Let's see where this goes. Now, he can't be her real life love interest for a long period of time. Because I'm like, I'm weirded out by when people have their real life person as their on TV person. I wanted to be a whole fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Not that I want to see Viola Davis getting busy on camera. That ain't what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't even be here to see a Tiny and T.I. sex scene. Like, I don't want to see a Chris Brown and Karrueche sex scene. Hell, I don't want to see a Will Smith and Jada Pinkett sex scene. Even though they did one in the Muhammad Ali movie, and it was cool. You know what? Whatever. Let them do what they do. So, you know, but she turns them down because, of course, she ain't with it right now. She gets home to see her family. Her sister's there. And she walked in the house, and it's a bell. And she was like, because we selling alcohol now, like, what's the room for the bell? And her sister was like, that's his, you know, way to fix things. So I'm looking like, well, fix what? Like, is the doorbell broke? So they all sitting at the table, and they're discussing what Annalise is going to do with the money she's going to get from the house burning down and the insurance money. And the mom was like, well, you can probably get a new office space. You know, you need a new office space. You don't get your new house. You know, get your things in order. And Elise said, well, you know, I'm thinking about there is this memory care center here that I'm thinking we should go look at, you know, for you. And she was like, because her mama got dementia a little bit. I think we did see in the season finale because when she was locked up, her mom came down there. Her mom kept talking about the house burning down, and she thought Annalise was in jail for burning the house down. And she's like, I burnt the house down. So she was having, you know, dementia then. Her mom is still, you know, suffering from dementia, so they're trying to get her into somewhere, you know, to get her care. And her dad is like, we fine here, you know, I can look after her, it don't matter. And you know, she like, she left out the house the other day. She could have got shot. And he's like, man, no, I put a bell on the door. So that's his solution, is that bell on the door, so that if he hear the bell, he know she walking out the house. And she like, no, that ain't even a good solution to the problem. And her mom was not happy about it. She's like, you know, y'all trying to put me in my deathbed and trying to pick out my tombstone, and I ain't got time for this. I'm okay. You know, how you gonna tell me how to live? You got people dying all around you. You know what I'm saying? Don't come around here no more. And mama get up and she leave it. She ain't happy about it. She like, don't be trying to put me in no home. Me personally, you know, my mom is in her, she's older than me. Won't say my mom's age. But I don't think I would want to put my mom in a home. I think I would have to just hire a nurse to be at our house full time. Like, I don't think, and just because I've seen other homes, like my grandparents got older. My grandfather had a bit of dementia. He's since passed away, but him and my grandmother lived like in a senior citizens like apartment building, and it was people who went by to see them all the time, you know, up until before he passed away. But you know, my mom, I think at one point she looked at putting, you know, maybe thinking about a facility, but for the most part, you know, he didn't need that kind of care towards the end. But I'm like, I just wouldn't want to put my mama in no home. You know, my dad has passed away, so, you know, mama got to live with us. So even my sister, one of us, you know, she ain't going. So I can see how hard of a decision that is for her, because one, she don't live in Memphis anymore, and her life ain't together for her to take care of her mama herself. So the next thing we see is Bonnie is calling Annalise to say, hey, that money from the house that you was waiting to get, that insurance money, that's gonna be on hold. Why is that? Because her dead husband's, Frank? Was her husband's name Frank? What was his damn name? Sam. Sam's sister, you know, at least dead husband's sister, is contesting her having ownership of the house. She's saying when the house should really be hers, so she should get the money. So, you know, that's the bad thing when people pass away, and it's, you know, get your affairs in order. Make sure there is some kind of document saying who gets what in case. In case I die, I want everything to go to my wife, not my sisters. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a bad thing when a person passed away and the spouse is fighting with siblings or parents or whatever else. You know, Sam just had something in place saying, hey, this is my, well, it probably is, and the sister is probably being a bitch because she don't like Annalise. Anywho, so that is putting a hold on her money. So she's like, okay, fine, we'll deal with that later. Then her dad come knock on the door like, you know, so you want to come on the back porch and drink some moonshine? I'm like, don't you know she got a drinking problem? But I don't think he do, because, you know, him and Annalise don't have the best of relationships. And she's like, nope, I'm tired, and she closes the door. She feels herself spiraling, you know, because she's not supposed to be drinking. So she pulls out her phone and she Googles an AA meeting place in Memphis. But her battery about to die, so she in her purse. Now she's looking for a charger. And what did she see? Her real life husband, who was flirting with her on the plane, just slipped his number in her purse. And what does Annalise do? She calls that man. Yes, she does. So the next thing that we see is Connor and Oliver at a gay bar. And it's like girls who are having like a bachelorette party. We want to kiss you guys. You know, it'd be the drunk girls who get married, they bachelorette parties, and they want to kiss on strangers. I don't want to kiss on no strangers. You know, when you kiss on strangers, you get herpes from Usher. So, you know, you just can't be out here kissing on strangers, because Usher got herpes. People got herpes. It's a chlamydia outbreak in different states. You know, I remember at one point a long time ago, Canada had syphilis. So, you know, you can't just be going out here kissing people all willingly. Was it syphilis in Canada? Probably like 15 years ago, I kept hearing about a syphilis outbreak in Canada, which is why I have never went to Canada, and I'm 35, and I live in Michigan, and Canada is literally across the street. Anywho, you can't just be out here at bars kissing strangers. You'll get a damn staph infection. So, you know, Connor ain't for it. He like, why we got to kiss on you? Go ahead on somewhere. And Oliver like, look, hey, go get some drinks, and maybe we'll kiss on you later. Don't you kiss on them drunk girls. Don't you do it. But, you know, Connor is basically saying, why am I getting tongue tied? Because I need some water. Oliver is saying, I never do this, but I'm going to do this today. I be having water sitting here the whole time. So, feels much better now. Oliver is saying to Connor, why won't you accept my marriage proposal? We know he proposed at the end of the last season. And Connor is saying, because I don't feel like we should rush into marriage just because you was scared I was going to go away to prison or get arrested. So he like, nah. So while they're sitting there talking, Annalise also texts. He gets the same text that Laurel got, being invited to this dinner. And we come to see that she did not invite Oliver. Well, you know, because Oliver was an extra. You know, he wasn't the initial Keating 5. Was it 5 of them? Keating 5? Yeah, he wasn't the original Keating person, so that's why I'm like, that's probably why she didn't invite him. I didn't get so comfortable with y'all. I just be fixing my hair, drinking water, having sad conversations in my head. But that's what you do when you get comfortable, you know what I'm saying, on your stuff. I hope y'all enjoy me the same way I enjoy being myself with y'all. If you don't like it, so what? So the next thing we see is Annalise is at the hotel to meet her real life husband, who is this man who she met on a plane. And I'm gonna keep calling him her real life husband, because I don't remember what he said his name was on here. So they walk in, and he's like, yeah, I ordered some drinks at the bar. And she like, I ain't come here to drink no liquor. I ain't come here to have no drinks. Okay, let's go to the room then. So, you know, they up in the room and they kissing and stuff. And, you know, they kissing and he taking her clothes off. He laying down on the bed and everything. And then, you know, he on top of her. Then she flip him over. And I'm looking like, okay, Annalise. Okay, Viola. Get dirty with your husband. So, they kissing and stuff. And she getting all into it. And his phone rings. She's like, oh, hold on. Give me a minute. I'm like, who calling? Who calling your phone this late at night? So he answers the phone. He says the female's name. And she's like, oh, hell no. Nah. So, of course, she like, this man got a wife. And he trying to look in the wrong damn way. This man got a wife. And he up here with me trying to get busy with me. I ain't for it. So she putting her clothes on. He come back out. He was like, no. It's not what you think. You know, that was my daughter. I make sure she call me every night when she comes in. If you want, we can call her back together. But it's going to be pretty weird. So, you know, he's like, come over here. Yo, cute, sexy thing, you. And they kissing a little bit more. And she's like, you know, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then she gets up to leave. He's like, Bonnie, no, wait. She's like, my name is Annalise. And then she leaves out. So I was like, now that he know her name, is he gonna pop up later on in the show, and they gonna have a little sex scene on TV? Then we gotta wait to find out. So the next thing we see is now she's at home and she's in her bed asleep, and you hear her mama, you know, good old Cicely Tyson, and she walking fast through the house. She moving. And she go into Annalise's room and she was like, Anime, come on, we gotta go. The house on fire. The house on fire. Come on. And she like, what? Mama, what? The house is on fire. Come on, we gotta go. We're gonna burn up in here now. And so she jump up and her mom was walking out. She looked into her mom's bedroom. The daddy sleep. Snug as a bug in the damn rug. He ain't heard nothing. And that's her thing where mama, she needs someone who can hear her because she up thinking the house on fire and your ass still asleep. So she stops her mom and she's like, Mom, the house is not on fire. Because she's even mentioned Clive. Clive was dead or something. But she's having a dementia moment. And Annalise stops her, kind of like grabs her face like, Mom, it's okay. The house not on fire. Look at me. You're having an episode. It's the dementia. And her mom kind of looks at her. And she's looking at her. And she's looking at her. And then Annalise looked down. And her mother has urinated on the floor. Because we know with dementia, they forget how to control their bladder. So her mom looks down and she looks up at Annalise and she's just like, and she's having a moment of realizing something ain't right. And so from that scene, it goes to Asher and Michaela, and they out shopping for a bed. And Michaela laying in the bed and she's feeling like it's all comfortable and stuff. I can't wait to get me a new bed. I want a king size bed instead of my queen size bed. I'm sorry, y'all. I just be getting all discombobulated. Anywho, she chesting the bed out, and then a little cute little self and little black dude walk up like, yeah, ain't it comfortable, ma? That ain't what he said, but that's what he said. And Asher see this, and Asher walk over, he was like, yeah, how durable is this bed? Because, me and my girlfriend, we're in love, by the way. I wanted to be able to handle all the love making we make. We had sex like twice a day. And I'm like, what is you telling this man all this stuff for, Asher? And Michaela's like, can we have a minute? And she's like, what, are you jealous much? And he's like, yeah, you're beautiful, you're smart. I have a reason to be protective. And, as they're sitting there, they get a text from as well, from Annalise, saying, about the dinner. So as we see, she's basically texting all of them about this thing on dinner. So the next thing with Annalise is she's in the bathroom and she's cleaning her mom. She just got her mom in the tub or the shower, one of the two. Her mom's cleaning her little robe. She's helping her mom put her nightgown back on. She's cleaning her mother. That's what you do when your parent is at that age and they have to be clean. You clean them. That's what you do, okay? Remember that. So as she's like putting lotion on her mom's legs, her mom starts singing a song. And she's like, don't you remember this song, Anime? I hope that she was calling her Anime. I'm saying, I don't know if that's the old school name or what. But she's like, I sang this song with you when you was little. Come on, sing it with me now. And they go to singing a song together. Her mom says, see, I haven't lost my whole mind yet. And she was singing it to remind Annalise that I know I have dementia, but I still have my mind too. And then she says, we can go look tomorrow. And she's like, go look where, Mama? And she's like, the nursing home. We can go look tomorrow because her mom knows something ain't right. We might need to go look at this. So, they go to this nursing home. And, for me, it was a lot of old people there. And Mama was looking around. And it do look like the old people just laying around waiting to die. And I feel like, when I would go visit my grandparents, it wasn't nobody just sitting around downstairs in the lobby looking like they, they was walking around and they had their own apartments. My grandma and granddad was walking, it was vibrant. This place, nursing homes sometimes can be very sad. Because they think because the people are old, they don't want to enjoy life still. Like, have some good music playing. Have it be bright. I don't want no dark-ass colors. It looked like a damn funeral home. And Mama looking around like, what the hell going on? They then walk in, they see some pictures of, like, old stars. And they like, oh, yeah, they like to be reminded of the good old days. And she was like, who good old days? Where the black folk at? Okay? Because wasn't not one black person on that dang on shelf. So, they then take her out to look at the garden. While she out looking at the garden, Annalise and her daddy arguing. And, he like, this place is too expensive. It's $5,000 a month. She fine at the house with me for free. And she like, you couldn't take care of her when you was young, let alone you old. You the reason we here. And then he like, you think this ain't about you? You know, you the reason she having all this fire and class stuff. You think she be having these spells and you not around? She only do that when you around. So they arguing in public. The sister like, come on now, don't do that right here. And she was like, well, whatever, you know, I don't care, you know, you couldn't take care of it, you can't take care of it now. And he like, you ain't too old to get whooped. I'm looking like, you gonna whoop her? Okay, daddy, you know, calm your ass down though. Mama come out. She's like, y'all should be ashamed of yourself. You know better than that. And I raised you better than that. She checked both of their ass real fast. It's like, embarrassing me up here in these people's houses. Come on, let's go. A classic old black woman. You're not going to embarrass me in public. If you want to argue in private, that's one thing. Don't you be up in white folks' house arguing with me. And that's what she was saying to them. Basically, we got us out here in public and you arguing for no damn reason. Okay? Bring your asses, is what she basically was saying. So the next scene that we see is Bonnie and Frank talking, and they're at like an office space, and Frank is kind of trying to get Bonnie to have Annalise like rent this space or get this space for the new office because the house burned down. And you know, she's like, we can't even afford this. I don't know if she's ready for this. And he's like, well, no, you know, I'll take care of it. There was a suitcase full of money that he took last season. I can't remember where the suitcase of money came from, but he kept it and he still got it. And then she's like, the suitcase money? And he was like, yeah, I couldn't think of a better thing to do with some of it. So she was like, you know, that's not the way to win her back, right? And then he was like, you know, I'm going to get her to forgive me. It's just going to take some time. So he's like, you got plans tonight? You know, my mom's making meatloaf. Maybe he didn't say meatloaf. I think in my head, I'm thinking about The Wedding Crashers when he's like, Mom, meatloaf. Can we get some meatloaf? Is what is in my head, and I don't know why. But she's like, no, I'm going to dinner tonight with Annalise. She's like, oh yeah, big plans. And he was like, well, no, also all the kids are coming. So he was like, oh, you know, okay. So the next scene that I'm trying to see how much more I have left. The next thing that we see is Annalise having a conversation with her sister. She's basically just having an honest moment like, look, I might not get the money as quickly for the house. His sister's contesting it. I might not have my job because I was drunk. I was on probation for being drunk. And when I got arrested, I was drunk. So I basically, you know, broke my probation. So I might lose my job, you know, and that would suck. And then, you know, her sister was like, well, you know what? If I had your life, I would have a drink too. But she was saying that in support of her sister, like, you know, don't let them get on you because you were drinking. If I had went through what you went through, I would need a drink. I would too. So we then see her mom having a conversation. And her mom is basically saying to her, you know, she's like, I'm leaving y'all. You know, that's inevitable. I'm leaving here little bit by little bit. You know, my mind is going, and you know, y'all losing me. So what I need y'all to do is, you know, there's nothing that y'all can do to stop it, but you know, we have to prepare ourselves for when it's happening because it's inevitable, which is true. And we don't want it to be a surprise, which is true. When a person gets dementia, you do want to take advantage of the moments when they are present in the moment. And she was just saying, and we also need to prepare for it because she was saying like, you know, I'm okay now, but when you leave and come back, the next time you see me, I might not be me. So we need to prepare ourselves for that because it's inevitably coming. And she's like, you know, I'm going to stay me as long as I can stay me. But eventually I won't be me. So I need you to make sure that you hold on to you. And Annalise is crying because this is a touching conversation of a mother telling her daughter, I know I'm losing my mind and I'm not going to be me no more. And you can't lose yourself by me losing me. I need you to always be conscious of who you are. And, you know, they had that moment. She's like, okay, Ma, okay. And it was a moment that I think Annalise needed because she's been through so much over the past couple of seasons. And it is like she lost herself. So she's not leaving to go back to, where does she live? Is it New York? Is it California? What is it? Why can't I think of what city they're in? But we're not going to think about that. But she's leaving to go back home. Even though she don't have a home, she's going back to her city. And as she's leaving, she see her dad putting a lock on their bedroom door. And he says, you know, she can't get out if she don't have a key. Which is true. because if I lock the door and she don't have a key, she can't get out the room, so she can't, go out and hurt herself or anything like that. And she tells him, if she hurts herself or if she hurts anyone else, it's on you. I'm trusting you to keep her safe. Meaning, mama, because my thing is, once a person gets to a certain age, you don't want to take them out of their comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? You want them to be able to live out whatever amount of time they have left in their comfort zone. If she comfortable at home and he comfortable taking care of her, now he know he has to do a better job. You kind of have to let things happen. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you ain't got the money to do nothing else about it. So, she's like, just keep her safe. And then he's like, all right, fine. I'm sorry for what Clyde did to you. And we know for years her father kept denying what was done to her. And so he finally accepted that he needed to accept what happened to her and admit that it happened, and he was sorry that it happened. She liked that. She said, I'll call you once I get to my plane lands. And that was, I guess, her way of recognizing she heard what he said and she accepted it. So the next thing we see is that she's in the meetings for her license. Bonnie starts to say, well, we think her blood alcohol levels were tampered with by the DA because of her whole involvement, trying to blame the other black lady. Annalise stood up and said, you know what? No, stop. Yes, I was drinking, but I was drinking because my house had burned down and I lost my license. I lost everything and I had a weak moment. But y'all can't, you shouldn't let me lose everything for that. My license is the last thing that I have for me to rebuild my life. I've lost my husband. I've lost my job. She's lost all this stuff. So she's like, I'm begging y'all to give me another chance. And they're like, well, you said if you ever drink again, a part of your probation is you said if you did it, we can revoke your license. Like, I know I said that, but now I'm going to AA. She was basically saying, now I'm serious about being sober. Before, I was so caught up in everything that I was losing that I was saying anything I didn't really care. I'm cognizant of what I'm saying now. So listen to what I'm saying now and give me another chance. So the next scene we see, she's at the dinner with the remaining Keeney 5, and Bonnie's there as well. And they're like, okay, what we here for? What's all these letters? And she's like, well, let's have dinner first, and then y'all can open the letters. And they was like, nah, we've had enough suspense. What's the deal? So she lets them know, well, one, I want my license back. I can actively practice law immediately. We then find out Laurel is still pregnant. Yes, Laurel says, yeah, I'm also pregnant. I'm going to keep the baby. I'll be due in like 5 months. And yeah, I'm keeping the baby. And I'm like, but you told your daddy you had an abortion. Okay. So she lied to her father to keep him away from her and her baby. So Annalise then tells them, as they're all talking like, oh yeah, you're pregnant? Oh, are we going to be uncles? And they're all having their own conversations. And Annalise is like, y'all didn't let me finish. She then says, and the envelopes are all recommendation letters for you guys to get jobs somewhere else. I'm letting you all go. Well, goddamn it, Annalise, all of them? They're like, what? And she's like, I ruined West's life. I don't want to ruin y'all lives. I want to let y'all be free to do whatever. And Laurel she's like, you know what? Are you serious? After all of this, are you serious? And she's like, look, I just, I'm the reason Wes is dead. And they're like, no, that was the Mahonies. And then Laurel says, we don't know that. Because again, Laurel would think her dad had Wes killed. And Laurel's like, you know what? Whatever. She's over it and she gets up and leaves. We then see Connor say, what are we mad for? This is what we've been asking for the past year. We should be happy. His ass didn't get up and leave. Michaela pissed off. Are you fucking serious? Are you kidding me? What is this shit? She's pissed off. You don't have the right to just tell us when it's over. That's not fair. You know what we've been through? She get up and she pissed and she take a bottle of champagne with her. And then Asher then says, the next time you're going to fire someone, don't invite them to a fancy dinner. I agree. Fire me over the phone. You know what I'm saying? Don't have me waste my gas money driving anywhere. So Bonnie then says, one day they'll understand. And as she says that, Annalise slashed a letter to Bonnie too. And I'm looking like, you fired Bonnie? Just the whole team was dismantled. So the next thing we see is Annalise, and she's checking into like a fancy hotel or brothel or something. It looked fancy but old, or like vintage old, like old mafia old, like the Godfather old, but still fancy. And she paid for a month. That's why I said it must be a hotel. They said we have some people who pay weekly, but you get a better deal if you pay monthly. I'm looking like it got to be a hotel. So we then see each Keating kid reading their letter, and she's basically praising them, and it's a really good recommendation letter. So we see how Asher and Michaela are pissed. Well, Michaela's pissed, and she gets Asher to, be in beast mode, beast mode, as she's yelling. And, they pull out their laptops to fix their resume. We see Connor and his boyfriend reading it, and, they basically agree to not get married, but also stay together. We see Laura reading hers, but she on her bed with her belly out because she is pregnant. She's clearly pregnant. And we see her dad then send her a text message saying, hey, don't we look great or whatever? And she goes to respond to the text, and she types in, why did you have Wes killed? And I'm like, is she going to hit send? Oh, bitch, really? But she doesn't. She deletes that and it says, love you too. And she puts her phone down, and you see that she sleeps with a gun next to her bed. So she know her dad is dangerous, and that's why she won't let him know where she lives. So we then see Bonnie, and she's at the DA's office, and Nate walks up like, what are you doing here? She's like, I have a meeting. And then she goes in to meet with that crooked DA agent. Because what did he do? He had something to do with something. I can't remember what it was, but he was a crooked. He did some crooked, but whatever. So we see is that, and then we see Annalise going down into someone's office, and we see she's actually going to therapy. And if I'm not mistaken, the man who she's meeting with, he was on maybe like Law and Order or something, but he's a good actor. I can't think of what his name is right now. And then the last scene we see is it then flashes to 3 months later, and we see Frank walking in. We see Frank in the hospital, and we see Annalise's therapist, and they're walking fast like, okay, she just woke up. Is she okay? Well, there were drugs in her system. And I'm like, damn it, Annalise, you on drugs now? So, the girl is waking up, and then you hear a female voice like, Frank? And we see it's actually Laurel, and she puts her hands down her body, and then she touches her stomach, and she's no longer pregnant. And she's like, where's my baby? Where's my baby? Where's my... And she's freaking out saying, where's her baby? And then that's how the episode goes off. So, great episode. Loved it, loved it, loved it. It touched on a lot of things. I am excited for this season. I'm happy Scandal is on next week. I will be reviewing that show as well. But it is currently 1:53 a.m. and Mama has to go to work in the morning to her regular job. So, until next time, people, I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time,